Hey everyone, today we are diving into something that, let's be honest, pretty much all of us chase our entire lives: confidence. But what if the whole chase is wrong? What if we've been running in completely the wrong direction? Well, we're going to unpack that right now. So let me just ask you this straight up. Do you ever find yourself thinking, man, if I just had a little more confidence, I could finally, fill in the blank, ask for that raise, start that business, or just not feel so awkward at parties? Yeah, it's a feeling we all know. But here's the big idea that flips the script. What if asking for more confidence is actually the wrong question? What if that's the very thing that's trapping us in this endless loop of not feeling good enough? And that leads us right into our first big topic, what the source material calls the confidence trap. Because before we can get out of it, we've got to understand what it even is. Think about this metaphor for a second. Trying to build up your confidence is like trying to build a house on quicksand. It's just exhausting. You struggle and you fight. You might feel solid for a hot second, but then you start sinking again. It's completely unstable and it just drains all of your energy. And I bet some of this looks pretty familiar, right? The author talks about doing all this stuff, standing in the mirror, doing power poses like a superhero, chanting affirmations that start to feel kind of hollow, pushing yourself into situations that just feel awful. It's all just this constant, tiring performance to try and fake a feeling. So this whole performance puts you on a really nasty ride, which is perfectly named the confidence roller coaster. Okay, so here's the key term you need to know. The thing we're all chasing is called performance-based confidence. It basically means your self-worth is totally 100% tied to your latest win or your latest failure. Your sense of self is basically a hostage to your last achievement. And you know this high. You nail a presentation, you get a great piece of feedback, you finish a really tough workout, and bam, you're on top of the world. Your confidence is through the roof. You feel unstoppable. But then, what happens? A new challenge comes up, or maybe you get a little bit of criticism. And just like that, it all comes crashing down. The confidence just vanishes. Why? Because it was never really yours. It was attached to that success. And that, my friends, is the roller coaster. It's a brutal ride. This is where we pivot. This quote from the author Ruda Yande is so important. When we stop resisting ourselves, we become whole. Think about that. The strength we're looking for isn't something we have to go out and build. It's already in there. We just have to stop fighting ourselves to find it. So if confidence isn't the end goal, then what is? Well, the author argues that the alternative is the real superpower. Let's just break this down. On one side, you've got that old confidence, right? It's based on performance, it needs validation from the outside, and we know it's super fragile. But on the other side, you have self-acceptance. It's unconditional. It comes from the inside. And it is stable and resilient. It's the solid ground, not the quicksand. Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting. Maybe even a little counterintuitive. Let's talk about the acceptance paradox. So here's the paradox, and it is wild. When you stop needing every action to prove that you're worthy, you actually get braver. You become more willing to take risks because failures suddenly mean something different. It's not a verdict on who you are as a person anymore. It's just data. It's feedback. It's information you can use to learn, not a reason to hate yourself. The author shares this amazing story about giving a speech. Instead of puffing out their chest and pretending to be fearless, they just got up there and said, "I'm honestly pretty scared right now." And you know what happened? The whole room relaxed. A genuine connection was made. That's something that fake confidence could never, ever do. That is self-acceptance in action. And just think about the real-world results here. You stop pouring all this energy into judging yourself. You bounce back from setbacks way faster. You start doing things because they align with your values, out of love, not because you're terrified of what people will think. And all of that frees up so much bandwidth to be creative, to be authentic, to just be you. Right, so this all sounds great in theory. But I can hear you thinking, okay, how do I actually do this? Well, that brings us to our final and most important part, how you can start to make this shift. The article breaks it down into 3 simple mindset shifts you can start today. First, treat yourself like you would treat a good friend. You wouldn't tear a friend down for making a mistake, right? So stop doing it to yourself. Second, when you feel that anxiety or discomfort creeping in, don't immediately run away. Just let it be there for a second. Acknowledge it without needing to fix it. And third, this is a big one, start asking yourself why you're doing something. Is it to prove you're good enough, or is it because it genuinely matters to you? And that leaves us with this final massive question. I want you to really sit with this for a moment. What would you do? What would you create? Who would you talk to if you truly believed deep down that you were already enough right here, right now? That changes everything.